I love training camp because it's the beginning of everything. You need some things so you have a great camp. One, you need heat. Secondly, you need competition. In order to get better, you got to get pushed. The third thing is team. You are a member of a team. You're going to succeed or not as a team. That's the only way you're going to win.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to First Take. Shay Cornett here with you. It's been a minute. Good to see everybody. Hello. Full house at the table today. Love to see it. Evan Cohen, what's going on? Andrew Hawkins in the flesh.
Building.
Jason McCourty, hello. J Mac, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I felt like you were a little excited as you said Evan, and then Hawk was like in the. And then
well, Hawk I haven't seen in person in like 2.5 years.
That's Hawk's fault. Tell him to come into the studio.
Totally agree with you. I should keep energy should be different. He's right. Let's keep this same energy, though, as we talk about the Packers, which is not something I normally say, but that's okay. Packers edge rusher Micah Parsons will not be with the Packers for the start of the season due to that ACL injury that he suffered in December. He said that the most optimistic date for his return is week 6 against his former team. That would be the Dallas Cowboys, of course, barring any setbacks. So when Micah Parsons tore his ACL last season, the Packers were 9-3-1, just a half a game behind the 1 seed in the NFC. Then the Packers lost their final 5 games, including the playoffs. They also blew a pair of double-digit leads to the Bears in a 4-week span. So to put it simply, they were winless without Micah Parsons last season. Okay, so now they might not have him until at least week 6. Yep. And so, J-Mac, how will Micah's absence, do you think, affect your view of the Packers?
Well, in order for us to consider them contenders, like you have to prove to us you can win a game without Micah Parsons. And I don't think it's just on the defensive side of the ball. Like when you see that full screen, they went from about 25 points a game to 19 points per game. So that has to do with the offense and obviously the defense not getting stops, turnovers, and different things of that nature. But if Micah Parsons isn't going to be out there on the field, who's stepping up for them? There's a lot of guys on this team that the average viewer is going to hear names like Lucas Van Ness and say, well, who is that? Baron Sorrell. Who are these guys that are going to have to make plays and find ways to get to the quarterback? Because this isn't a team where the roster has drastically improved from a year ago to this year. They've switched defensive coordinators. John Gannon takes over. And now this coaching staff is responsible with building a team knowing Micah Parsons isn't going to be there for the first few weeks that can actually go out there and compete. But I'm looking not only at them, Jordan Love. Like, what are you going to do in this essence to step up and lead this team on the offensive side of the ball to score points and do the things necessary? 2 receivers left, Dontavian Wicks. They also had Romeo Doubs leave in free agency and join the New England Patriots. So now for Jordan Love, you have to take responsibility of this offense. Take the next step. Be an MVP candidate for your team to propel and be talked about in that division to win it and be contenders in that NFC to fight for a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
I mean, how many names did you just mention before you got to Jordan Love? When the question is about Micah Parsons' absence, that is the first name that should be mentioned. I understand Jason McCourty knows more football than anyone. I get that. But Lucas Van Ness is not the answer to the Micah Parsons question. Jordan Love is the answer to every question with the Green Bay Packers. I don't care what question you want to ask, the answer should be Jordan Love. He is considered by many, not me, but by many, a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He is the analytics darling right now. I don't know how many top 10 quarterbacks don't have a division title to their name, aren't, at least historically, MVP contenders. When you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, they employ, by money, 2 quarterbacks, Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. So when one of those 2 quarterbacks is out, the figurative version of Micah Parsons, the literal version has to be the best player not only on the team, but the best player in the division. I'm tired of hearing how great Jordan Love could be, will be, would have been. The answer to Shay's question about Micah Parsons' absence, just like any other question for the Green Bay Packers, 2 words, Jordan Love.
You're exactly right, both of you. And I think when you come down to Micah Parsons, with him in the lineup, in scoring and defense, they're 6th. Without him, they were 29th. In yardage, they were 5th. Without him, they're 24th. So that's also for this coaching staff and LaFleur and the scheme that they're going to put together pre-Micah Parsons being in the lineup and post-Micah Parsons being in the lineup. They have to show that they can compete, and that's the biggest question because the other piece to this is in those first 5 games, this is the easiest stretch of their schedule. They have the Vikings, they have the Jets, the Falcons, they have the Buccaneers, and then they have the Bears. If they show that they can't win in that stretch, it is going to get late early for this Packers team because it gets way harder. And there will be a period for Micah Parsons to get back to full strength and be the Micah Parsons that they expected when they traded for him. So again, if you do not play well or you have some of the outcomes that they had when they lost him last season, it could be over early.
Quickly, Shay, I'm curious to your point with the Jordan Love, what's going to be different this year of why they weren't able to manufacture from an offensive standpoint this year? They couldn't do it last year when they lost Micah Parsons. Defensively, you have to make some changes. You didn't expect that. But for the offense, it's a lot of the same guys.
Yeah.
But not in the same roles. There's role clarity. They got rid of, for lack of a better way of saying it, wide receivers. They had a lot of them.
Yep.
You were a wide receiver. Sometimes too many of them is actually not. Dontavian Wicks is on the Eagles. Romeo Doubs is on the Patriots, as you mentioned. There is clear-cut role definition. Matthew Golden, you were a first-round pick for a reason. Play that way.
And you had 8 months. Last year when you lost Micah, it was out of nowhere. Okay, now we have to redirect in the middle of the season. You've had 8 months to prepare for this. We knew Micah wouldn't be in the lineup. So you better have a scheme. You better have a strategy that shows that you put the work in.
If I recall correctly, Micah went out against the Broncos. Does that sound right? Right? And at the end of that game, I felt like they showed a lot of fight. They almost won that end of that game. And then the next 2 games, they just looked like really lackluster, like not good at all cohesively on both ends of the ball or both sides of the ball. I got basketball in my mind. Both sides of the ball. So now that they've had this entire offseason, to your point, Hawk, and this entire training camp, hopefully they can find a way. By the way, as we mentioned, the Packers have not won the North, the NFC North, that is, in 4 consecutive seasons. They got to find a way this year. Speaking of Dallas, that's who maybe Micah Parsons is going to return to play against. Because Quinnen Williams has now agreed to a 3-year extension worth almost $106 million. The new deal will make the Cowboys star defensive tackle and second highest paid per year among defensive tackles in the league. Last year, after joining the Cowboys, Williams had 20 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 33 quarterback pressures. Now, Cowboys writer for The Athletic, John Machota, tweeted out the following quote from Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones on Williams' contract. He said this, quote, "He's a great player and one of the hardest practicing guys out there. Every time he lines up, you feel him. He doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't say, hey, I got this. I'll let my play do the talking. You see it. He's the best player on the field whenever he's out there. The other thing is just what a man he is. He's a leader. We didn't have a lot of leadership on defense for the last couple of years. To have him and Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary, I think they really picked it up over there in terms of the culture and the leadership," end quote. Are Stephen Jones' comments fair or a little foul considering how he poked at the defense, Hawk?
I think it's foul. I mean, just when you think about it, it feels like a shot at Micah Parsons. And as we talk about Micah Parsons, he affected the Packers in a way, but we're looking even in this season to say he's going to miss 4 to 5 games, and it might mean that their season is over. When you have that kind of impact on the field, which he also had in Dallas 4 years, he built the beginning part of a Hall of Fame career. To say he's not a leader does feel like unnecessary.